Hi guys. So today I have the best-selling men's fragrance pretty much on the planet, I would assume, and that is Acqua di Gio, which is probably going to be presented to you backwards, but we have Acqua di Gio. And I've never done a review of this one. I know, I never owned it, and I want to talk about that first before I got into the smell and everything. It's kind of funny because I'm not a huge this is a fresh aquatic cologne. It's the king of fresh aquatics. I'm not huge on that, but I do enjoy them, and definitely now that we're going into the summer, hotter weather, it's kind of going to be appropriate for that. But I had never really gave this one much thought. It's kind of funny. Somebody told me one time, oh, Acqua di Gio smells like an old man's cologne. Like, so if you want to smell like an old man, put on Acqua di Gio. So I always had this kind of subconscious thought, like, oh, Acqua di Gio is like an old, really old school man smelling cologne. It's not really up my alley too much. So I never gave it any thought. Now, I've smelled it before here and there, like I would go to the store, maybe a few times I sprayed it on a tester strip and smelled it, and it smelled good, but I was smelling a bunch of other different colognes at the same time, and they really caught my interest more. I gave that more attention, so I never really honed in on the smell of it, and I don't think I've ever really worn it on my skin, just the tester strip. So I've smelled it, but never really, smelled it. And I just decided, it doesn't seem like people are saying, like, it really doesn't seem like it would smell old manish. So I'm going to just get it, just to have that piece of history. And it doesn't. It's actually quite a younger smelling scent. It's quite sexy. I hate to use that word to describe scents, but because it's so incredibly subjective, but it does definitely smell a bit sexy, a bit relaxing, carefree. It's like the perfumers, I think they were in the Mediterranean, and I could be totally wrong with this story, but I think they were like at lunch or something, and they kind of smelled this breeze coming in, and they thought, like, that's what we need to make a cologne that smells like that. And you do get hints of like this Mediterranean beach kind of smell. It's not like the Mediterranean per se, but what you really get from this cologne at the top is you get a lot of citrus, lemon, orange, bergamot. I get a little bit of pepper, and you get a little bit of florals like some jasmine. A lot of people don't like the opening of this. It's not amazing. It does smell a little bit like Lysol. It has that little bit of vibe to it, but it's not too bad. This starts to smell really good when it starts to go to the mids, and for that, I get a lot more florals. I get that's where the aquatics really start to kick in, and it starts to smell really, really fresh, really uplifting and relaxing. Very young smelling, I guess, but I feel like this is such an easy to wear one that anybody could wear this, any age group, most situations. The base is awesome. The base is like patchouli, amber, musk, cedarwood. Cedar is one of my favorite smells, and I get the cedar in this throughout. So a lot of times from this, I get like a lemony kind of cedarwood smell, and it's so good. The cedar mixes perfectly with that lemon for me, and it just keeps it smelling at times almost like a woody fragrance, like a citrusy woody fragrance, but it kind of changes. And you've heard, I'm sure, that does not have great performance. I wouldn't say it has great performance, but for me, it's not as bad as everybody has been saying. I get like 2 to 3 hours solid projection, but that's solid projection. It's very good projection, which is unusual for me because my skin is kind of weird and scents don't tend to project well off of me. For whatever reason with this one, it does project very well. It could be the weather or whatever, but I get at least 2 to 3 solid hours of projection, and that is very nice, good, solid projection where I can smell it on myself easily. I have a nice scent bubble around myself, and then it starts to dry down. It does last on me overall, I would say, probably 7 hours, maybe even a little more. I would say around the 8-hour mark, it's really starting to wean away. But that seems to be much higher than average for this. Some people say they only get like a few hours out of this, 4 hours, maybe 5 if they're pushing it. I get like 7 or 8 hours out of this cologne. So far, performance is pretty damn good. But don't take my word for that. Test it on yourself, because this is one is kind of, after many reformulations, is kind of famously underperforming. That's why a lot of people tend to choose the Profumo flanker of this, because it has much better performance. Also smells. I've actually smelled that one. That one smells different, but still really good. So this has an amazing sprayer on it. I'll spray. I don't know if you could see that, but it's a very powerful sprayer. It's concentrated, so it's not one of those big mist cloud kind of sprayers. It's a very concentrated sprayer. You need to make sure that you aim well when you use this. It's nice. So off the top, again, I get pepper, I get citrus, I get an aquatic note. It's really what I'm getting. That citrus, though, it is a bit bitter. It's again, it does come off a little bit like a cleaning supply kind of smell, but it is very, very refreshing. I mean, it is like, this is a perfect scent. I said again, perfect to wear in any situation, I think, but really good beach scent, like you're strolling on the beach or you're taking a walk. In this beautiful sunny weather, it's just perfect for that. I can't tell you I can't smell live here because it does take a while to dry down, but again, I'll start to get more florals coming through, more cedar wood, and a little bit of pepper and that bitter citrus kind of goes in the background. What's interesting about this one, though, is that in the dry down, like the base of it, basically, it starts to become a bit feminine, which I was not expecting at all. Again, in the back of my mind, thinking this was more of like an old man smell. The florals start to become a bit sweet. That cedar is still there, but it's a nice, refreshing cedar. And yeah, it just starts to smell feminine. Not a bad thing at all. It's a very nice, sweet floral kind of smell. I don't know if it would be the perfect feminine scent, but yeah, definitely it takes on a woman-like quality to it. It's never going to be super sweet. This isn't, I think, a very super sweet cologne, but you will get some sweet florals, and I like that. I think it's very nice smelling. So far, I mean, I'm going to keep wearing this, but I really like it. It's sexy smelling, it's refreshing, it's very energizing. I mean, citrus colognes tend to be energizing, but this one really is doing it for me. I love the mids, I love the dry down. There's not much to not like. There's a few downsides. One, performance. For you, it might not work that well. Again, for me, it works pretty well. Price, it's still very expensive. It's expensive for a reason, because it is the most popular cologne on the planet, basically. There's no reason for them to lower the price if people are going to keep buying it. So you're going to be looking to spend, I don't know, like $50 to $60 for a 1.7 ounce, something like that. It goes up. So it's a pricey cologne. I mean, and yeah, there's probably better smelling or similar smelling scents that are much cheaper. I mean, Periel is 360 Red, although I haven't really smelled that one, but that's on the way. We'll get to that next week. But this is just so classic. I had to have this one. I also got a really good deal on this, so I didn't pay full price or anything. Another downside, let me think. I mean, there's not a lot. It's just so good. Well, another downside would be that everybody wears this, so it's a very common scent. Not everybody's wearing it these days because people are trying new things out and everything like that, and the community is growing and this and that, but it is one of the most common scents. So if you're worried about smelling like everyone else, that's a concern. Me, I don't really care about that too much. I just wear what I think smells good, not necessarily what, not what everyone else is smelling. Those are, to me, really the only downsides. I guess another one, you have to watch out for fakes. This is one of the most copied colognes, but, go to a reputable place. Don't buy it in an alleyway or anything. Yeah, I just had to make that one. I know it's like baby's first Acqua di Gio review. It's crazy. I've never really used this one before, but here I am using it now. So, last review of Acqua di Gio on the planet. Hope this was helpful. I hope it was enjoyable, at least, just to see my, first impressions, basically, of this cologne. Hopefully, we'll have some stuff for you soon. It's taking forever to get here, but I'd like to do Prada and Proporome next. And then again, like I said, Periel's 360 Red will be hopefully next week, and we'll compare those. I just got a little decant of that. If you've ever used Periel's 360 Red, let me know. Let me know what you think, how they compare, or anything like that. That's all. Everybody have a great day and smell good. Peace.